Hello and welcome back to my channel where I like to have fun with all things beauty while being critical about what I accept into my collection. Today I am doing a trying new makeup video, but I'm mostly going to be focusing on the new Victoria Beckham foundation, and I'm going to be comparing it with my favorite foundation, which is the Chanel No. 1. Both are glowy, dry skin friendly foundations that boast a light to medium coverage, and I have stuff to cover, so I'm going to be focusing on that today. I'm also trying the new Glaminatrix palette and a Dior Blush, but I am mainly focusing on the foundation. Because of that, jump scare, you have been warned. I'm going to turn the lights down and get a little bit close up, despite how uncomfortable it makes me, because I really want you to get a good idea of if this foundation is for you. And I know that what you're seeing right now from one side to the next, you probably can't even tell a difference. So for my own comfort, I am filming the intro at the end, and now we're gonna cut to me without makeup. Well, this is humbling, but I really wanted to show the reality of what the Victoria Beckham foundation could cover. So I've turned the lights down, and I'm hoping that you can see all of my hyperpigmentation in all of its glory. I used to be somebody who laid in the sun a lot. Even though I'm Irish, I am capable of getting a really great tan, actually, which was terrible because every summer I would go to great lengths to do that. I grew up in New Jersey, and in the early 2000s, the whole GTL of it all, if you watch the Jersey Shore, you know, was a real thing. And I did a lot of damage. When I was older is when I got acne, so my acne scars, which in all reality is probably my most prominent hyperpigmentation at this point, all of that is a lot more recent. I also suffer from melasma, which come and goes, but you can mostly see it on my forehead and my T-zone. But I can't change the past. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. So now I take care of my skin really well, and I wear sunscreen religiously, but I can't hide the past, and this is what real 41-year-old skin looks like. Fortunately, right now, I don't really have any active acne except for this one blemish here. Everything else is in the healing stage. So let's put this foundation to the test. What I am going to do first is go in the bathroom where I can see better and put on my eyeshadow. I do want to talk about the eyeshadow, but I tried to put it on camera yesterday and I had to scrap the video because it wasn't a fair representation of how good the eyeshadow actually is. Having the lights turned down like this, I couldn't see what I was doing. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to go put that on where I can see, and then I'll talk about the results. And then after that is when I will put the foundation on camera. And hopefully it's helpful to anyone out there who is a similar age or has similar skin concerns as I do. It is a humbling experience, but for what they're charging for it, this is definitely the kind of thing I would like to see before purchasing. So I'm going to go do my eyes, and I will see you in a minute. And here we are with the eye look. Today I am using the Glaminatrix Mary Chrissy palette, and it's gorgeous. Listen, I don't have a ton to say about this because I just love it. If you really like shimmers, especially multi-chromes and that sort of thing, you're probably really gonna like this palette. As with most Glaminatrix palettes, I am not the biggest fan of the matte. The formula is fine. It's more just the fact that there's not much of a gradient. So I always really appreciate when mattes go from light to dark because I like to contour my eyes, but for whatever reason, they don't usually have that much of that. It's fine though. I don't even care. I just use a companion palette. I didn't today. Today I stuck with this palette, but in general, that is my preference, and this is no different. I also wanted to point out this little shade in the corner that doesn't look like much at first glance, but is actually quite incredible. When I tried it on the other day, I felt like it was glowing in the dark. There are a couple shades in my collection that do similar things. The Danessa Myricks Lightwork 7 palette, Blend Buddy Machina, those two shades are really cool too, but this takes it up a notch, not only because it has a purple shift, but it definitely intensifies that glowing effect. It's just really quite special, and I don't really think the marketing does it justice. But anyway, my favorite shimmers on the market today, highly recommend if you're into that kind of thing. Now for the foundation. So because this isn't a wear test, this is more just like first impressions and showing what it can do, I decided that I'm actually going to do a split face. So on this side, I'm going to use the Victoria Beckham in shade 4 Light, and on this side, I'm going to use my current holy grail, which is the Chanel No. 1 foundation. Unfortunately for this one, I do have to mix two to get a shade shade that works for me, but it is what it is. I mix shade B20 and B30 and then it looks okay. I'm gonna start with the Victoria Beckham. Now, I did learn the hard way not to use too much of this. I think the first time I used it, I really went to town trying to get as much coverage as I possibly could, and it just didn't look right. It got way too shiny and it just kind of felt gross on my face. So less is more with this, and using a brush and a sponge helps. All right, so that is how the Victoria Beckham side is looking. Now I'm going to go in with the Chanel, just one pump of each. And to be fair, this is like my bad side. So I have nerve damage on this area of my face and it droops a little bit as a result. So whenever I take photographs or even when I look into the camera, I'm always trying to look with this side of my face because I just think it's less droopy and more attractive. But I'm going to try my best to just look at the hyperpigmentation coverage and not get too caught up on it being the bad side of my face. And there you have it. That's how this side is looking. I'm going to add a drop of concealer just under my eyes. And I'm going to go over everything with a damp sponge. So I pretty much do that with every foundation that I wear just because I think it helps everything blend in and look a little bit more natural. But that's how we're looking so far. So the Victoria Beckham side and the Chanel side. So this is what I see when I look at the Victoria Beckham foundation in indoor bathroom lighting. And this is the Chanel side. They are similar. I mean, you can probably tell there's a little bit more glow here, but the finishes are definitely similar. This is the Victoria Beckham foundation in outdoor lighting on this side and the Chanel on this side. This is the Victoria Beckham foundation with powder added, and this is the Chanel. This is the Victoria Beckham foundation in outdoor lighting with powder added, and that's the Chanel. All right, I'm gonna go throw on some blush and bronzer and I'll be right back with final thoughts. So there you have it. That's the rest of my face. Today I'm using the Gucci bronzer in shade 1, Dior the holiday shade, Starry Mauve, which is kind of hard to see. I might turn the lights down. The Kosas Cloud Set in Airy all over my face as powder, and the Louis Vuitton lipstick in Glorious Quest. So I did turn the lights down. I don't know that you can see the blush, but it's definitely visible in person. I would say my experience with this so far is it's just okay. These two are my holy grails, as is the Sarah Krill concealer, but despite this going somewhat viral, it hasn't really knocked my socks off. So I don't know, I definitely have to come back with longer term thoughts on the blush as well as the foundation. I will absolutely touch back on this. My experience so far with wear time is that it's fine. I don't notice it fading any faster than any of my other favorite foundations, so no complaints there. My one reservation about it is that I'm concerned it's just a tad too glowy, which as somebody who has incredibly dry skin and loves glow, I'm not used to saying that, but I do feel like it is a little bit more glowy than my Chanel No. 1, which is probably my ideal amount of glow in a foundation. I don't look greasy. I wouldn't go that far, but I don't like feeling like I really do need powder because I definitely prefer when it's more of an option. What I do know for sure is that it's not terrible. Having worn it a handful of times now, I know for a fact that I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. But so far, I definitely like the Chanel better, and I definitely like my No. 2 foundation, the NARS Light Reflecting. I'm pretty sure I like that one better too. It just has a little bit more coverage, and as you can see, I do have things that I want to cover. And I don't want to put concealer all over my face. That's not really a good option for me. Having had a minute to wear both of these on my face all day, ask other people what they thought, that kind of thing, I decided just to add a few more thoughts. So I really have to say, I think they are very similar. The Victoria Beckham is very similar to the Chanel #1 foundation, albeit $30 more expensive. You're getting the skincare in there, but I don't know that that's really any better than whatever they have in the Chanel. I'm personally not all that impressed with the Augustinus Bader skincare line. I think it's fine, but from everything I've seen looking at the ingredients, I don't know. I don't personally feel like it's revolutionary. So to me, it's not worth paying that extra $30 for. But aside from that, I think they both look pretty similar. You get 1 fluid ounce of each, and if you like one, you'll probably like the other. I would still say the Victoria Beckham is probably a little bit glowier. So for me, I'm going to always want to pair that with powder, where I prefer the Chanel because I can get away without using powder. I struggle to call any foundation blurring because I've just never really seen that from a liquid. I've only really noticed blurring with powders, but that being said, I feel like there is something a little bit more perfecting about the Chanel for my skin chemistry. That could be different for different people. And I do feel like I'm splitting hairs here, but something about it just feels a little bit more smoothing or perfecting, and maybe it's just a little bit more coverage. I don't know, but I still like the Chanel better. And regardless, I'm going to keep wearing it and touch back on my more complete thoughts in a future video. So that's it for today's video. I had to keep it short and sweet, unfortunately. Like a lot of people, it's December and things are pretty hectic in my personal life. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put a lot of the videos that I was hoping to get done off until January, but I'm gonna try to do at least one ranking and fit as much in as I can before the end of the year. So that's it for today. I hope it was helpful. And let me know if you've tried this foundation. What are your thoughts? Did you pick it up during the 25% off sale? That's what got me. That's the thing that pushed me into actually giving it a try, and I would love to hear what you think. I hope you're having a beautiful day or night wherever you are. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.